This next example is showing how you can take a pattern and make a sequence out of it by simply moving it up the scale diatonically. And that goes all the way back to the beginning of music creation. And, one of the things that you can point out in a lot of the great classic, especially in the classical period of composing, is using sequences where you take a note shape and repeat it just in different parts of the scale. One of my favorite things to do is play triplets or sextuplets, and I like them. I like to follow them by some long notes also, or some space. In this case, it'd be E Dorian. I've changed some of the fingering to, well, I like always throwing in a flat 5 every now and then. So the third group has a flat 5. The notes are predominantly E Dorian. Minor scale with a natural 6. And as always, I'm going to throw in at least one chromatic note, and that'll be the flat 5 in this. So I think it adds some power and keeps the notes more compact by having an extra passing note. If you played only scalar notes, you tend to move out of the same range quicker. Okay, here's the lick slower. On this last E, I'm bending it up to it. So the convenient way to play it with your second finger, however, I'm going to make it more difficult by asking you to shift position slightly and bend it from a D. If that's a problem, then practice it just playing it without the bend. So and if you're comfortable with that, then practice it. The reason for doing the bend is that it adds a little bit more tension and makes it more like a blues lick, I guess. That's one of the key things about playing fast. If you follow a fast part with a simple part, it makes it, I don't know, it just seems to make it more digestible and more musical. However, I'm totally not against playing a whole bunch of fast parts together, as long as the shapes and the top notes sort of define a melody that in itself could be simple too. Again, in this we're going to use alternate picking, so each phrase, since it's starting on a strong part of the beat, will be a downstroke. And after downstroke, the next note is going to be an upstroke, unless there's a rest. So that's my philosophy. It's an alternate pick every note. Every upbeat would be an upstroke. Every downbeat or fraction, even fraction of a downbeat would be on a downstroke. So since it's triplet, it's constantly alternate. Okay, with this, the backing track is playing a simple pentatonic minor. And as such, we haven't really defined what the second of the scale will be, so we could easily do Phrygian over that. flat 2 and flat 6. A lot of rock guitarists like this mode better because it just sounds more dark. And here's an example. Okay, we're just going up the scale slowly in E Phrygian. Alternate picking again. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Move up a scale step. In this case, since we're using the same strings to give the same sound, the same, the middle strings of guitar just have their own energy, especially when you use the bridge pickup and you're playing staccato pattern. So rather than move up to different strings, I'm going to stay on the same strings and move my hand position up from 7th position to 8th. From 10th to we just did the Phrygian starting on the root. Try it from the minor third and do the same thing. Exactly the same pattern, exactly the same sequence, same idea. We're just starting up a little bit. And this way, once you get comfortable with your modes up and down the guitar, you can start pretty much anywhere and use this as a filler or as a a rhythmic variation and a technique to add something to your solos. Starting on the third of Phrygian scale, slow. Just a little turnaround at the end. Simple, melodic. Okay, the idea is 7-note groups. So instead of playing them up sequentially in a scale, I'm just going to go from different string groups. Strings 1, 2, and 3, 2, 3, and 4, 3, 4, and 5, and 4, 5, and 6, and then edit. So slowly, here it is. Of course, I had to throw a chromatic note in the flat 5. Then this kind of reflects a Phrygian. Flat 7, 2, 7. One of my favorite licks. Somewhere in there I tried to change pickups to get a little bit more brightness on the low notes.